everybody, how's it going? It's Jamie, the Crafty DIY guy. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am giving my front porch a spring makeover, and I am super excited about it. I am going to be using my Cricut Maker, and I am going to be showing you some very easy ways that you can zhuzh up the front porch and add some springtime fun to it. I am absolutely in love with both of these projects, but the last project, it is my absolute favorite. I love it so much, and I hope that you guys will too. Before we get into those though, I do want to say, of course, thank you to all of my subscribers, my short-termers, my long-termers, my newbies. Everybody, thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you. If you're brand new to the channel, perhaps even checking it out for the first time, welcome. Thank you, YouTube, for maybe even recommending it to you. And, you know, I like to do all kinds of stuff. I do Cricut, I do DIYs, I do thrift flips, I do shopping hauls, and I talk really fast sometimes and I run out of breath. So let's just get into the project. For my welcome sign, I'm going to go into Design Space, and once again, I'm going to search images. My neighborhood is known for flowers, so I am going to go into the search bar and just type in flowers and literally sort through hundreds of different designs that are at my disposal. Depending on which level of membership you have, some of these are going to be granted to you for free, and some of them will be also images that you need to pay a small royalty for. Once I've finally selected the flower, I'm then going to add it to my canvas, and I'm going to add some font. I want to create a sign that has my last name and also the year that I purchased the house. So again, just playing around with the different fonts and the different sizes and dragging it around until I've got a design that I'm super happy with. Once everything was set and I was happy with my design, then I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. The machine is going to prompt me on everything I need to do, and it is going to begin cutting out my design. It is literally that easy. Once everything was done with the machine, it was time to start the weeding process. Now, for my frame itself, I did find this kind of beech wood or this light colored wood frame that I liked. I also liked this Cricut cardstock that I thought would be really nice and pop against that pinkish red color that I'm going to be using for my font. I'm just going to cut it down to the proper size, and then I'm going to take my vinyl here, this excess vinyl, and just kind of fold it in half and trim away that piece that I'm not going to be using. That way I can save that and use it for another project. To do that, all I'm going to do is just simply fold this over, crease it, and then cut it with my own pair of scissors. Start to weed my design, I'm just going to take my tools and I'm literally just going to start kind of working on those negative spaces or those kind of little tiny pieces that need to come out that will kind of hold up your design, or really what I'd like to think of it as exposing the design, because as you reveal those little pieces and those kind of inside pieces that you're not necessarily going to be using, you will see your design really start to come to life. After you've removed all those, you can start weeding away any of the excess vinyl to really start revealing your final design. And again, super happy with the way this looks. I love the way this looks, and I think it's going to be perfect for my sign. Now, I did cut down a piece of transfer tape, and I'm just simply going to peel off the backing and then apply that transfer tape right on top of my design. I am going to take my fingers and once again just kind of smooth this out. That way everything will adhere and transfer onto that transfer tape onto my final design. For this, all I'm literally going to do is just kind of line it up, make sure it's nice and smooth it out, and make sure I've got all the edges and everything. And then, as you will see, I ran into a little bit of a snafu here because my design is actually a little bit bigger than my frame. I didn't quite measure this right, but that's okay because everything is on this transfer tape, so I can actually cut this design out. So I'm literally just going to cut out the individual pieces into 3 separate pieces and just kind of puzzle piece it together onto my sign here. And once again, just peeling away that transfer tape and then applying it onto that cardstock. Now, anytime you are working with transfer tape and cardstock, I recommend that you just use your fingers to smooth this down initially and then very slowly peel away that transfer tape. That way you don't tear your cardstock. And then once again here, just kind of doing that same process with the flower and with the established in 2018, which is the year that I bought my house. I added a simple yellow bow and hung this outside at the front door. And again, love this, love the way it looks. super springtime, very festive and fun, and it adds some great color to my already extremely colorful front porch. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is go into Cricut Design Space. Design Space is an app that's compatible with the Cricut Maker as well as the Cricut Air Explorer. So I'm going to go to my canvas and I'm going to go to images and I'm going to search through the catalog of various images. For this, I do want herbs, and so I just put in the word parsley just to kind of see what pops up. And I liked the simplicity of the way that the spelling and the font and everything was with this particular parsley. Or with this particular herb. Now I'm just going to go in and type in a different herb. Let's go ahead and try cilantro. So once again, just typing in cilantro, finding the exact same font that I used for parsley, and then once again, just dragging it over to my canvas, and then just eventually finding all of the herbs that I wanted to find. And now I'm just gonna go through and make sure that everything is properly sized. I'm trying to keep everything within 6 inches. That way everything fits on my canvas and on my Cricut machine properly. I want to maximize the amount of my vinyl that I'm going to be using. So after I have everything lined up, I'm going to go ahead and start the print portion of this. Now, for the actual vinyl itself, I am going to cut a piece of vinyl off that is the same size as my standard grip mat there, or my light grip mat. I think that's actually my light grip mat. And I'm just going to make sure that that vinyl is the same size that I need. And then I'm going to line it up on the 2 corners and then just simply smooth it out flat, kind of like so. The reason why I'm going to do this is because you want to make sure that you don't have any air bubbles, and you want to make sure that this is nice and flat and secure. Any excess you can definitely trim off with a pair of scissors, and you can use your Cricut tools to go through and smooth out any of those air bubbles. Once you hit go and follow the prompts, the Cricut machine is going to do everything you need for it. Literally, this machine will do this in about 5 to 8 minutes, I think it took for this whole process to happen. Once everything was done and the vinyl was complete with the cutting, the machine lets you know you can eject it, and then I'm going to start what is called weeding. And I'm actually going to go through and just kind of remove all of the inner parts of my letters. This first word is the word oregano, and I'm kind of going in and removing any of those pieces that would kind of be those kind of random centerpieces in the lettering. Hopefully that makes sense more when we start peeling away any of that vinyl. So now that I've got all of those kind of, they're not really negative spaces, I don't think anyway, out of the way, now you can see kind of the real reveal of what my lettering is going to look like. So now you can start to see my oregano and my other herbs starting to kind of make their way or make their appearance. And as I'm doing this and kind of weeding away any of that vinyl that I don't need, it's helpful to have a pair of scissors handy, because then you can just kind of cut off any of that excess, and it helps really kind of expose the vinyl. And you can do this nice and slow. It makes sure that you don't mistakenly take off any other letters that you do need. You can see even some of the lettering, I didn't remove some of those negative spaces, kind of like in the G in oregano. You can kind of see how that's still there. And as I'm working my way down, I'm just, again, cutting away any of that negative vinyl until I have all of my herbs exposed, kind of like this here. And once again, just kind of working very slowly. Again, grabbing my scissors, trimming away any of that excess vinyl that I don't need. That way it doesn't start sticking to things, and I can really just kind of move it out of the way. And then, as you will see here, I've got a couple other ones that I ended up turning. They didn't print quite right, so I turned them on the machine and then just did a quick reprint. That's pretty easy to do as well on Cricut. And now I'm just going to go through and just kind of finalize any of these remaining kind of center points. And then, this is the fun part, I'm going to take the Cricut transfer tape and I'm just going to smooth that down with my hand. Then I'm going to take my Cricut tool and just smooth this down and make sure that all of that vinyl is going to transfer on that transfer tape off of my cutting mat, kind of like you see here. And then I'm going to literally transfer this to my galvanized metal planter that I picked up at my local dollar store. And what I love about this is that because this is that galvanized metal, I don't have to worry about that transfer tape sticking. Once again, grabbing my tool, I'm just going to smooth everything down, make sure that I have really, really good contact. And I am using a permanent vinyl here, by the way, so this is going to be great for outdoors. And then check this out. You peel it away and you've got the cutest herb planter for my thyme. And I've got 6 of these, so I'm going to have some thyme and some cilantro and some rosemary and some basil and some oregano, parsley. I absolutely love these. I took them outside. I hung them on my siding using some vinyl siding hangers and filled them with my favorite herbs. And now I have a front porch herb garden. I can go out and get fresh herbs anytime I want. I did line the inside of these planters with a little bit of cocoa liner and some plastic. That way, when I do water it, soil and such doesn't go down the siding of my house. And I am so happy and so thrilled with this little transformation. And as you can imagine, the smell is absolutely incredible. And it is the perfect little welcome when you walk onto my front porch.